Today, I'm going to share 10 career lessons or work lessons that I have learned from working 10 years in my specific career, job, work life, whatever you want to call it. These are the things that I wish someone would have told me. And these are things that you sometimes hear, you know, people whispering in the corridors, or you hear it from your friends when you are sharing those late night rants about how horrible your boss is or how annoying that client is. And I just feel like these are like the gems that I've collected in these 10 years. And I would just like to share it with all of you here. All right, okay, let's begin. If you need something, ask for it. Silence has never built a career or earned a raise. Now, I know that this sounds very like everyday, but I don't think we practice it enough, right? I mean, how many of us can, or how many times can you tell me that you have honestly gone as and asked for something and not assumed that I thought you will understand, or I thought my manager would just give me that project, or I thought that colleague will not behave a certain way, or I thought I communicated that with the client, right? If you have something in mind, a goal, something you have to achieve, something that is connected to your dreams and your aspirations, and you feel like there are people around you that can help you or maybe even stand in the way without knowing, you have to figure out a way, have to mutter up the courage to go ahead and tell them that hey, I need your support in xyz, or I think you're becoming a roadblock and it's really important to me, right? Easier said than done. I'm also learning it the hard way, but honestly, the sooner we just learn how to do things in the most easiest way, I guess, eventually, the better it is for all of us. Next, be friends with your colleagues. Not everyone will make it to your inner circle, but don't build walls to feel professional. I have to admit, I have done this too many times. I would always enter a new workplace and think to myself, oh, I cannot make friends here. They're just my colleagues, they're just my work friends, like not in friends, but yeah, in front of people you can't really say you're not my friend, right? They're just an acquaintance, and you always want to feel like, hey, I'm looking over my shoulder, someone's going to do something to me, they don't have my best interest at heart. And you might feel that, I mean, everybody does that, but honestly, work starts to feel less fun, right? As it is, no one actively wants to make you feel like, hey, you should come to work because you enjoy working. I think the notion is that, hey, you got to work because you got to work, because you got to earn money and all of that. But I honestly feel that the moment we start feeling that work has to be fun and interesting and it gives me an opportunity to learn, meet people, network, so many different things, the everything around work starts to change. And the first move in that is that of a colleague, that eventually can become a friend. If you have a handful of friends, even two people in the organization that you're working with that you can actually call your friends, they can make everything so much brighter. And I have learned this in the last organization I was working at. We were a remote only organization, but I had the best time with my team. And leaving them was the hardest decision I had to make. And if you're in a position like that, my friend, you have gotten this off the checklist. All right. Number three, between you and what you really want is usually one uncomfortable conversation you've been avoiding. Well, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the if you need something, ask for it. But asking for it often is like we try to sweet talk things, we try to like not let the other person know how important that is for us. But honestly, a lot of these conversations tend to be a little sticky and uncomfortable because we've not been taught how to ask things, right? We always feel like if you're asking for something, then the other person doesn't want to give it to us, or the other person is not in my team, or I'm taking something from their plate and from their portion. Obviously, they're going to fight me. The whole idea is to understand how can I make this a win-win for the two of us, so the other person also is playing for my team or we are on the same team, and that's what we're looking at. But again, like I said, that it takes time. And I mean, one would think that once you are away from the corporate world, you don't really need to have these uncomfortable conversations. But once you become an entrepreneur, a business owner, I have to have these conversations on almost every other day. And I get it, it's not the best. It doesn't make you feel really good about yourself because you kind of feel that you're not giving the other person what they want. But it's in everyone's best interest because in the long term, everyone's happy. Yeah, so just try to figure it out, try not to avoid it, try to look, like, ask yourself, what's the conversation that you've been avoiding, and what could the possible reason be. All right, this was a fun one. You don't need to drink to belong. Cool looks different on everyone. Show up, laugh, dance, leave on your own terms. Well, um, I remember when I kind of was in the very early stages of my career, and during my interview with the person that I was supposed to report to, he was the HRBP head, and we had my interviews are really chatty, and I really want to get to know people. But then I ended up telling him that I don't really like drinking, even if I do drink, sometimes I don't want to drink socially too much, especially with people that I don't know, especially people that I work with. And he asked me, so what if people offer you or whatever? It's like a social status of sorts. But I just told him that I'm a fun person anyway. Like, I believe that I can have a good time, make people feel like they're also having a good time along with me without being intoxicated, right? I just want to, that's just the person I am. And I want to stay that way. Till date, I'm still like that. If you ask my friends, my colleagues, people who work with me, people who have seen me, I will just have a drink in my hand for sure. And I'll dilute it so much that you can get high on lemon water, right? You wouldn't want my drink. It's just water, flavored water. But then I remember we went to one office party, and everybody was just, having a good time. And then he was giving a speech or something. He was thanking people. And then very softly he said that, hey, Sonali is not a person who likes drinking. And hence I request people not to put her in a position where she has to say no. And people were like, oh my God, you don't drink. What are you saying? You don't look the part, all of that. But then I had such a blast that night. And I was so confident in myself that, oh my God, it was just not like smart talk from my side. I actually made it happen. I had such a great time. Everybody had a great time, and I did not drink. Right. So let's not have these notions that I have to drink, or I have to go out, or I have to stay till late. You come, you have a good time, you draw your boundaries, and you leave. Like, it doesn't have to be either or. And the earlier we start saying these things to people, they also start working around those boundaries, and it doesn't become uncomfortable or weird for anyone. Okay, moving on to number 5, asking for help doesn't make you weak. Perfection is not the not in the job description. Yeah. So I mean, if you're someone who's I don't know, I might be generalizing, but I'll still do it because I think it kind of comes from there. um Elder children, elder siblings, or elder kids in the house, a lot of times start adulting way earlier, and they also start depending on themselves and their output a lot more, which means that I'm so comfortable in my own output and the kind of work I do that the thought of delegating something or asking for someone's help and for them to give me an output that might not be something that I can do for myself is uncomfortable. And at the same time, I also feel like, but I can do it. So, I'll push my own boundaries, I'll squeeze out some time, I'll do overtime, I'll sleep less, and I'll do all kinds of things so I don't have to ask for someone's help. And that's odd because at the end of the day, I'll end up giving bad output, and nobody will be happy. And then people will be like, hey, you could have just asked for help, right? So, perfection is subjective. Go ahead and ask for people's help. and you'll be surprised how many people really want to help you to get the job done at a greater level. You get to meet people, know about their strengths and weaknesses, you get to know about your own strengths and weaknesses, and at the same time, you just sometimes group work is so much fun, right? You get to learn so much, and you get to free up your own calendar, and also deal with that discomfort of giving people feedback the right way, right? So those are a lot of skills that we can all get to learn and take advantage of. Okay, this one's one of my favorite ones. Network shamelessly. Clients, juniors, seniors, ex-colleagues, even the new intern, everyone knows something you don't. Networking has changed my life. Every workplace that I worked at, I do not remember not being the person who wouldn't know the support staff, the security people, the helpers, the drivers, the peons, right? All that categorization of employees. And I just didn't understand why we didn't speak with everyone, right? I didn't shy away from speaking to marquee clients, saying hi to them if I saw them in the lobby or just pass by them. I i just felt like, hey, if I'm there, I want to make my presence felt, plus I want to make other people feel seen. Do not feel like you cannot network above your pay grade or below your pay grade. That's the stupidest thing. I don't know who taught us, but looks like everyone knows. Do not do that. Just go for it. You don't necessarily have to exchange LinkedIn connections like a crazy person, but you can just still say a quick hi. Just make sure that people know that you've entered the office, right? That's one of the best things, and that's a great reputation to have. Okay. Don't know if you will agree or disagree with me, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Look your best every day. The day moves differently when you feel put together. I'm just gonna like the hell is this? A lot of dogs, so hair everywhere. Therefore, I'm just gonna quote one of my favorite ex-colleagues slash current friends to work with. Um, like I mentioned, we were a remote team only, and few days all of us were, some people was feeling a little off, you know, people were feeling moody, a lot of things generally that tend to happen, and we were a team who would genuinely check up on each other. And there were times when I'm a very camera first person. I whenever I get on calls, I'm like, hey, I want you to be on camera. I'm always on camera, all of that stuff. And people always say that, hey, you're so like, you're always looking fresh, all of that. Honestly, it's just the hair. I'll just make the hair look good, and everything said I look great, but just the hair and a decent t-shirt. Then she would often say that I am not feeling my best today, but you know what? I said, what the hell? Let me put on some makeup, put on some nice lighting, put a nice bright color, and she's like, I'm choosing to make myself feel better. And the moment she would bring in that energy, the energy in the entire meeting will change. So, yes, you can say that internally you have to work on yourself and all of that. I get it. You should. And it's all a journey for all of us. But sometimes, even doing external things like, I didn't need to wear a blazer for this conversation with you. But I wanted to because I want to project a put together me. I want to project someone who puts in the effort to look, if not the absolute classic best, but at least something for someone who's giving me the time to listen to me, right? And in turn, I also feel great. I also feel so like when I look at myself, I'm like, wow, I look great, and everything looks so good here. So do that, and just do the best that you can. You don't have to buy expensive clothes. You don't have to go buy expensive anything for that matter. You can thrift a lot of things. I'm a big advocate of that, but um, it can change your life, right? Just try it. All right. Um, Funny that we move on to the next one in the same context. Turn your camera on during virtual calls. Your face is your ID. So many times people might have forgotten my name because my name is very like common, and it can also be kind of, people get it confused with other common names. So Sonali is mistaken with Sonal, Saloni, Sonia, all those different variants. But people would always remember, hey, the girl with who always wears a blazer, who has short hair, who has a nice smile, and not my words. Okay, I'm a humble person, and it was very interesting because my face became my ID card. People would often be like, yeah, I've seen you somewhere, or I know you, because I would always keep my camera on. And even if they met me virtually and they're meeting me for the first time after years at an event, they would recognize me. Right? I don't know why many people don't take advantage of that, because it can give you that extra edge, that factor, in ways that you will only realize when you do it. So try doing it. Number nine, arrive 30 minutes early. Everywhere, every time. There is no glory in being late. I do not understand why people still glorify, oh, I'm always late, or I'm the person who always comes late and people know and they all joke about it. I mean, it's all hunky dory when it's a group of friends, or you're in college, or you're an intern or something. I mean, honestly, I don't even recommend doing that in either of these conditions, because you're making someone wait and you're not adhering to the promise that you've given to this person. But I want to be the person is there, who is there, even if it means on a virtual call. I'll try my best to join, even if it means 2 minutes earlier. Like somebody who joins the call will like, Sonali is already there, right? So that reputation is gold, because there are people who glorify coming late. There are people who feel it's so cool being late. And also, when you reach early somewhere, you just get to calm down, you get to go around, you get to talk to people, you get to get comfortable in that new space, you get to grab coffee, or a glass of water, whatever. You can do so many things. And when you're late, the entire scheduling gets eked off. Anything can happen in traffic. I don't think it is a good enough excuse anymore. And who wants to walk into a meeting, an event, or anything for that matter, all like stressed out and anxious, is one way. And on the other hand, there are people who just walk into a meeting 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes late, as if it's nothing, and as if people owe you their time. So it is really snobbish. It's a bad habit, and I think we have to break that, right? And finally, I'm sure you all already know it, but I'm going to still say it. Keep your personal life personal. Mystery is interesting. Yeah. Like I mentioned, that hey, it's cool to have friends at work. With them, you can share it because they have crossed that boundary of being a friend. But let's not go around telling people your business. Don't share too many details about your family, your hometown, whatever. Like you are spending a certain amount of money, you're investing something, all of those things. Yeah, I mean, um, there is a reason why it's the word personal is there in a personal life. And if you don't owe anyone any information, and if you're going around telling people everything, then what's the point of having friends? The whole point of having your own group, your own tribe, is for you to have a safe space to discuss certain things without the judgment, without the jealousy, without the envy of it all. Yeah. So and also it's interesting, right? Nobody People can guess about what I do post work or outside of work, who I am, because that's what I have planted in their heads. They think they know me because that's what I have told them, but they don't really know me. And if they really cross that bridge from being an acquaintance or a colleague to a friend, they get to know me, and that's where the fun begins. They're like, oh my god, Sonali, I didn't know you did this, or you were like that. That's what you're giving people, like an exclusivity into your inner circle, and that's always a fun thing to do. So yeah, that is 10 years of work advice in almost like 20 minutes. 10 lessons. I missed that hook, but whatever. You get it. 10 lessons from 10 years of work advice in 20 minutes. would have been awesome if I did it in 10 minutes, but there was just too many things to share and I went on a rambly thing. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.